You mentioned earlier that Helen Irwin was one of the discoverers of Irwin syndrome. Now, how was it actually discovered?
The problem was actually discovered by a remedial reading teacher in New Zealand in 1972, and she had children. She was finding it very difficult to help them with their reading, so she asked them what made it so difficult. And this remedial teacher, whose name was Olive Mears, published a little paper where she reported what the children said about how it's not fair the way they print books with all that black and all that white. It's just not fair, they said. And so she quizzed them about that and discovered the things that I've just reported to you. Now, we did know that these were problems before because an American named Dale Jordan had published a book called Dyslexia in the Classroom, and he had listed all these kinds of symptoms as being difficulties for children with dyslexia, but nobody knew what to do about it until at the University of California, Southern California, a clinical psychologist was hired by the university to find out why there was a significant number of students who could not pass their basic English qualifying test, but they could do their subjects at university quite well. They were obviously clever, but they couldn't pass the English component. And that was Helen Irwin. And so she was able to ask these intelligent adults, what is it that makes reading so difficult for you? And then she got all these answers, and they began to tell her how it was better if they had sunglasses, or it was better if they had yellow paper or old books with faded paper where the print was not so dark, and so on. And so through exploring this, she discovered that if you used appropriate colour filtering, which was individual for every one person, then you could ameliorate or even get rid of this problem altogether for those people.
Obviously there's a little bit of a debate about whether this condition is actually a real one or not. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, you can understand why people would debate that, because putting coloured lenses on somebody's eyes just seems too simple to cure such a difficult condition. But in fact there is now a great deal of research, quite apart from the anecdotal evidence of people who've used these lenses. There is a great deal of research now showing what the effects are and how they are improved by these lenses. And those effects, those research papers go from psychological research papers to optometric research papers to biochemical research papers, and we do know a very great deal now about how this works, and there's still some debate about why it works. But for example, we can show brain scans showing how the brain works in a dyslexic person who hasn't had this treatment, and we know from that those brain scans that those dyslexic brains are working 4 to 5 times as hard as a normal reader's brain, and yet reading isn't working for them. Then when we put the lenses on them, we can show that the amount of brain energy being used is much less, but it's now working. The brain, the right areas of the brain are working, and the person can now achieve results with their reading.
Okay, fantastic. Paul, thank you very much for your time today. If you're looking for more information on this or any other literacy condition, please visit our website at readhelp.com.au. Thanks for your time.